Welcome to the continuation of our lecture series on the age of absolutism. Today we continue on with our second part of the Stuart dynasty in England here on Learning the Social Sciences. The Stuarts showed England that they were not ones to work well with Parliament, so much so that Charles I lost his head over the arguments. However, the reign of Oliver Cromwell proved to be unbearable for many within England, and the minute he passed away, they called for the restoration or the return of King Charles II and the House of Stuart. Now, Charles II is the son of King Charles I. However, unlike his father, he had charm, poise, and he was politically savvy. One of the first things he did was restore the theaters and to reopen the pubs and the sporting events and venues that were closed under the Cromwell years. And yes, he reestablished Christmas. He favored religious toleration, trying to act more like a politique. However, he does have Catholic sympathies. He realized that he could not repeat the mistakes his father had made and had to kind of walk the line. Yet, he still continues on that Stuart tradition of not really working that often with Parliament or calling them in to be if, he doesn't need to. So in 1661, Charles formed what was known as the Cavalier Parliament, filled with royalists. He disbanded the Puritan army that Cromwell had created, but he did pardon most Puritan rebels. So he is somebody that kind of let bygones be bygones. He also restored the authority of the Anglican Church or the Church of England. In 1662, he also passed the Act of Uniformity. All clergy and church officials had to conform to the Anglican Book of Common Prayer. It forbade nonconformists, also known as dissenters, to worship publicly, to teach their faith, or to attend universities within England. This is going to cause some people to literally jump ship and leave the country, predominantly for areas like the Americas. As you all know, we are going to be having Puritans and Pilgrims show up in the Massachusetts colony. Further acts that Charles II passed include the Test Act, which Parliament excluded all but Anglicans from civilian and military positions. And in 1678, he passed the Habeas Corpus Act, which just basically said any unjustly imprisoned persons could obtain a writ of habeas corpus, compelling the government to then explain why they had lost their liberty and freedom. Now, when Charles II passed away, he did not have a legitimate heir to the throne. Note that I said legitimate. Charles was kind of known for being a party monarch and for having plenty of mistresses. However, to get a seat on the English throne, you have to be the child of the king and the queen. So in comes in James II, the brother of Charles II. Now, he was a convert to Catholicism because remember, their mother was a Catholic. And he is also somebody that I guess takes after dad's side of the family. He is somebody who really is not up for a compromise. And he goes and quickly alienates the Tories and, well, every political party, actually, within England. He just kind of ticks them all off. And what he is going to accomplish is a very quick moving revolution against him. How in the world does that happen? Well, he introduced Catholics to the high command of both the Army and the Navy. Here we go with conspiracy theories once again. He camped a standing army a few miles outside of London. Oh, no. You do not do that. The minute you put an army right outside your capital city, everybody is going to be fearful of you and that army. And so they are probably going to look for new leadership. But you are going to see this strategy used time and time again in history of having one's army come and get positioned right outside the capital. He surrounded himself with Catholic advisors, and he attacked Anglican control of universities. He claimed the power to suspend or to even dispense the acts of Parliament. And in 1687, he passed the Declaration of Liberty of Conscience, which basically said he extended religious toleration without Parliament's approval or support, which for him was mainly for the Catholics. So that brings in then the Glorious Revolution of 1688. Whig and Tory leaders, now both kind of ticked off with their monarch, offered the throne jointly to James II's daughter, Mary, who is over in the Netherlands because her husband is William of Orange. With that, both of them actually agree to come over and rule England. Sorry, Dad, I guess I just want the throne. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a sticky situation, I guess, for, future family gatherings if they ever happen. But William of Orange is somebody who seems to be well loved within England. He was victorious against Louis XIV, and he was seen as a champion of the Protestant cause. And so having William of Orange and Mary come in, somebody legitimate in the bloodline, seems like a good option for the English people. They also agree to the English Bill of Rights, which basically settles all major issues between the king and parliament, and it will serve as a model for the United States Bill of Rights. It also formally kind of made this base for civil liberties that then are going to be expanded upon within English history. So what is the English Bill of Rights addressing? Well, in terms of its main provisions, the king cannot suspend the operation of laws. Hey, you can't disband Parliament. The king could not interfere with the ordinary course of justice. No taxation can be levied or a standing army maintained in peacetime without Parliament's consent. Freedom of speech in Parliament needs to happen. Sessions of Parliament would be held frequently, not like, being disbanded for 10 years. Subjects had the right of bail, petition, and freedom from excess fines and cruel and unusual punishment. The monarch also must be a Protestant. We have the freedom from arbitrary arrest. Censorship of the press is going to be dropped, and it is also going to be putting in items for religious toleration. With that, James II, he is going to kind of put up a fight. However, he is not going to win this glorious revolution. Really, the only blood that was spilled was when James II found out that his daughter had betrayed him and that the revolution was happening, and he got a nosebleed. So, yeah. There is fighting going to be happening, though, in Ireland as James goes to try to take that. However, William of Orange is going to go over there and stop that. Now, in terms of the English throne, England now is really a limited monarchy, and it permits worship of all Protestants, but not necessarily 100% yet with all Catholics due to the Toleration Act of 1689. However, they also put in various stipulations that is eventually going to also lead to King George I of the House of Hanover coming to the throne. Why is that? Well, we're going to have some issues here. William and Mary are not going to be having an heir, and on top of that, Mary's sister Anne, who is going to be crowned Queen Anne in 1665, also does not have an heir. Now, Queen Anne first is the one to use the term United Kingdom. She is bringing all the houses together as one. She also, though, was somebody like her dad's daughter. She was pro-Catholic. Now, she does pass what I had just kind of referred to, the Act of Union in 1707, where England and Scotland were united as a single state, and the Kingdom of Great Britain is born. And eventually, with her using this phrase, United Kingdom, we are going to also have Ireland coming underneath the crown as well. Now, Anne is going to be the last of the House of Stuart, and she is going to be succeeded by her second cousin, George I of the House of Hanover, who was a descendant of the Stuarts through his maternal grandmother, Elizabeth, who was the daughter of James I. So it's kind of going back there. However, with the House of Hanover, And also just in the last years of Queen Anne, we are going to be seeing some very dominant politicians coming up into the stage now in England. So for those of you really jumping into English history, you now get to learn the kings and queens, and now along with that, you get to learn the prime ministers and also those very well-known politicians that just never ever slept in the prime minister's house. Now, we're going to have the rise of Sir Robert Walpole, who dominated English politics from 1721 until 1742, based on his royal support. Now, he has the ability to handle the House of Commons and to control kind of the government's patronage. He promoted peace at home and also abroad in an era where we are going to be building up colonies. He spread trade from North America all the way to India underneath the British flag. And he built the military, especially the Navy, up, making Great Britain a world power. You may remember, if you listened to my presentation on the Dutch, they, for a while, had the largest navy, but England is quickly catching up with Walpole's efforts. He also helped England become a military powerhouse, however, also to be a place of religious and political liberty. So this has been the lectures on the House of Stuart. Our next lecture coming up in the Age of Absolutism is going to be focusing on France and King Louis XIV. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And thank you very much for listening. Always remember to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.